Hey beautiful friends, I'm Scarlett, the internet's biggest tarot nerd, and today we are going to talk about how to choose a tarot deck. So first, if you are new here, I post weekly videos about tarot, paganism, and magic. And do please take a quick moment to hit that like button and to subscribe down below. Okay, let's get started. Guys, it seems that every week there's a new tarot deck being published from so many amazing artists out there. And this means endless possibilities for your own tarot practice, which I think is really exciting. But I also know that it can get really overwhelming at times. And my own personal deck collection has expanded a lot recently. And honestly, I'm starting to run out of shelf space for all of my decks. So I've come to the realization that I need to be a bit more intentional about which decks that I choose to purchase. Because I think that I want each deck I own to best reflect my own personal reading style and my own personal artistic preferences. So what I did is I put a list together of things that you can consider when trying to find a deck that best fits you. Some decks are definitely going to be easier to read with than others. And when I teach tarot to my students, I almost always recommend they start with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And that's because the images on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck are really clear, they're fairly simplistic, and they contain easily distinguishable symbols. I find that the narrative style of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is really great for beginners who are still working on memorizing the card meanings and the symbolism. Though for advanced readers, certain decks might seem too simplistic, and maybe you might prefer a deck that challenges and adds to your understanding of tarot. And the good news is that there are tons of decks out there that are jam-packed with elaborate symbols and various cryptic imagery. Some tarot readers really love researching and understanding historic decks, such as the Visconti Sforza and the Tarot de Marseille, though decks from the 15th, 16th, and 17th century might not be for everyone. Often the minors in the historic decks are in pip form, which means they just show symbols as opposed to the narrative imagery you might find in later decks. And it can definitely be a challenge to read the minor arcana in more historic decks. So that's definitely something you should consider when making your choice. I view learning tarot as the development of two different skill sets. First, there is the understanding of the symbolism within the tarot images. So once you have an understanding of the different symbols and their meanings, you're able to properly interpret and understand the cards. But that's only half the battle. The second skill I teach is how to tap back into our own intuitive abilities. Because for me, tarot is both the study of those symbols plus our own intuitive understanding. Those two skills combined create a great tarot reader and really can give you an advanced understanding and appreciation for your tarot readings. However, like most things in life, you will most likely be drawn to one of these aspects more than the other, and maybe you prefer a deck full of symbols that you can read like a novel. Or perhaps you prefer more ethereal decks that really allow your own intuition to fill in the gaps. I view tarot as like a form of art, and we all have our own aesthetic preferences when it comes to the type of art we prefer. And maybe you like minimalism or computer generated or watercolor style, woodblock prints, black and white, etc. And no matter what your artistic preference, I'm sure that there is a deck out there for you, and it's just up to you to find it. Do you have a favorite tarot card? For me personally, I really resonate with the Hermit, so I don't purchase a deck until I've looked at how the artist interpreted that card. And if I don't vibe with the deck's depiction of my favorite card, I usually don't purchase the deck. you want to make sure that the decks you own are all ones that you'll use again and again. And this is a good way to kind of make sure that all your deck purchases will be tailored to your own preferences. And before you make your decision, do please take a moment to check out some of the reviews out there. There are so many amazing tarot bloggers that share their thoughts and ideas on a wide variety of different decks. So I'm sure you'll be able to find some more information that can give you some guidance on making this decision. I hope these 6 strategies help you while you're pondering your next or maybe first tarot deck purchase. And next, I'd love to hear from you guys. I want to know if you guys ever struggle with deck overload or not knowing what decks are right for you and which types of decks you should be working with. So I do have a corresponding blog post linked below, and I'll also link a couple of my deck reviews and previous videos about tarot if you need a place to get started. But I want to hear from you, so do feel free to comment below your thoughts and if you have any other tips and strategies you like to implement when it comes to finding a tarot deck that best fits you. So thanks again so much for watching today, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!